Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations. In today's video, we're going to be bringing you guys a updated PVE tier list for the start of June 2022. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen. So as always, we've got SS rank all the way down to D tier. And starting us off here with the S tier we've got, and that's going to be none other than Seafaring, guys. Absolutely, the legendary cookie. She's going to be providing a bunch of AoE DPS, and not only that, her stun comes in very handy in the world exploration. Next up we've got, and that's going to be none other than Dark Cacao. We've got Hollyberry, and then we've also got Pure Vanilla. Now, obviously, these three ancient cookies are literally the best in what they do. We've got Dark Cacao here, obviously, with the debuffs, the AoE damage, and then not only that, the additional, defense break that he also does provide, although not as good as Dark Choco, still a very good option. Definitely going to be probably leading, I would say, for a frontline unit for PvE as well as PvP. The next cookies we've got, and that's going to be, speaking of Wildberry Cookie, he's going to be up next here, and then we've also got Clotted Cream. Both of these cookies are going to be recently new to the game and absolutely going to be worth the overall investment. We've got Wildberry Cookie here as a frontline unit, arguably the best tank in the game for what he provides. Clotted Cream here, AoE damage, that light cage also capturing somebody, pushing them to the back, preventing buffs, also a very, very good option. Next up we've got, and that's going to be two more cookies. We've got Eclair, and we've also got Cotton. And I'm telling you, man, Cotton is literally, in my opinion, probably the best cookie in the overall game, because she serves everybody. She serves every type of content. She provides literally everything in her overall skill that you're looking for in what they classify as a support unit. Next up we've got, that's going to be none other than Pumpkin Pie. Now, you probably already guessed Pumpkin Pie because there's a ton of value when it comes to running Pumpkin. Pumpkin literally provides a ton of damage mitigation. Pon themselves last forever on the field, providing you pretty much like a frontline tank without having to utilize the frontline tank, slot. So again, absolutely good. Next up we've got, and that's going to be none other than Dark Choco. And then last but not least, we've got for SS rank, and that's going to bring us to none other than Pomegranate. The attack buff and healing that she provides after being buffed is just way too good to pass up. I mean, tons of people, including myself, literally use Pomegranate through episode 14 because it just made that much of a difference. So again, absolutely don't feel bad about investing in her. Also, she caters into other types of content, aka PvP too. So once again, you're getting more efficiency out of your experienced star jellies. Now, officially diving in here to the S rank. All right, we're gonna start things off. We've got, that's gonna be Frost Queen. Now, I know this is gonna surprise a lot of people, and I've said this every single tier list that we've had with Frost Queen on it ever since she's released. And the reason why she's not placed at SS, guys, I know she does a ton of damage in the freeze and everything else. However, bosses are huge in PvE content, and if she can't freeze bosses, then she does not do a good amount of damage to that said boss. Therefore, I think that demotes her down to S tier overall. Now, you guys obviously can differ. Let me know down below in the comments. Next up we've got, that's going to be for S tier as well. That's going to be Sorbet Shark. Once again, arguably one of the best damage dealers in the game. Very versatile, a good cookie that you can invest, again, experienced star jellies in for PvP and PvE, so a good investment overall. However, though, I would say that we've got to break these tiers up somehow, right? And I think that Sorbet Shark is pretty much fine coming in at a S tier. You don't need a Sorbet Shark, obviously, to progress through the world exploration and PvE content, but if you got them, I'm telling you, it does make life a little bit easier. Next up we've got here, that's going to be none other than Parfait. Again, just another healer overall, and she provides that buff, for debuff resistance, which again is going to be really, really good in those later stages. Next up we've got, that's going to be a couple of the DPSers. We've got, obviously, Vampire, we got Rye Cookie, we've also got Black Raisin. All three of these cookies are insane when it comes to providing damage. Now, obviously, Rye and Vampire are more single-target damage dealers, but arguably the best single-target damage dealers in the game. So naturally, they deserve to at least be here on S rank, and the same thing goes with Black Raisin. Black Raisin is kind of on par with Sorbet Shark. The difference is, though, is that, Sorbet Shark takes that lead, in my opinion, because Sorbet Shark does actually transgress into PvP very nicely because the modification on his skill. Next cookie we've got, that's going to be none other than Tiger Lily. Now, Tiger Lily is going to be placed here on S tier again. That stun that she can provide is absolutely broken, especially for specific stages in the World of Exploration. Absolutely comes in clutch. And then next up we've got, that's going to be Strawberry Crepe. And then last but not least, we've got for S rank, and that's going to bring us to the brand new Crunchy Chip. Now, the reason why Crunchy Chip here is going to be coming in at S rank for me, even though it's not a game changer or a massive meta changer for PvE, the wolf that he provides is insane value. Very similar to somebody like Pumpkin Pie with Pon Pon. You know, Crunchy Chip can die, that wolf will stay on the field and continuously do damage, and it lasts forever, just like Pon Pon does. So again, definitely a good cookie to invest in if you are struggling throughout the individual stages. Now, officially diving into tier A, we've got, and that's going to be starting off with Caramel Arrow. And then once again, guys, this is going to be a controversial one because I know a lot of you think that Caramel Arrow is an absolute god tier unit in the game, and I'm not saying that she's not when it comes to overall PvP. However, though, when it comes to PvE, she's better than a lot of cookies, yes, but she's not going to be topping the charts for, you know, guild boss battle, world exploration, or even boss battles in general throughout the, you know, the PvE aspect. Yeah, she can do damage. Yeah, she's a decent cookie, but at the end of the day, she, in my opinion, doesn't beat anybody out of S or even SS rank when it comes to PvE content. Next up, we've got a bunch of cookies here for A tier, so we're just going to place them and just talk about them as we go. First one we've got, that's going to be Herb Cookie. Again, a very good healer outside of obviously the main ones, right? We've got Pure Vanilla Cookie, we've got Cotton, we've got Parfait also on that list, and then finally here we've also got Herb. Again, not a bad option if you don't have the ones from S or SS. You could absolutely invest in an Herb because Herb also does trans over into PvP content. So again, if you're looking for that efficiency, Herb's not a bad one to pick up on. Next up, we've got, that's going to be some, you know, AoE damage provided by Mango. So Mango provides an attack buff, but also has that AoE damage with a slight knock-up ability on the skill. Again, not a bad cookie to invest in if you're looking for some damage. Next up, we've got, and that's going to be Almond. Now, Almond, again, very, very good for PvP, very, very good for guild boss battle, but outside of that, you could use them on your team, but you, in my opinion, you would be better off using another DPS unit versus utilizing Almond for, you know, world exploration or PvE type stuff. Next up, we've got, that's going to be Licorice. If you do not have any of the other summons in the game, especially early game progression, Licorice is still a very good option because those minions are huge. The defense buff that's provided is really good. So overall, not a bad cookie to invest in if that's all you've got. Next up, we've got, that's going to be Coco. Again, a tank, provides a little bit of healing, provides the stun immunity, which again is very good for specific niche stages in world exploration. But outside of that, there's a lot better tanks out there, we can all agree. Next up, we've got, that's going to be Alphagato. We've also got, you know, Poison Mushroom here. Both of them provide a mega ton of AoE poison damage. Alphagato's very, very good for episode 14. But outside of that, though, she doesn't really, in my opinion, outshine any of the other DPS units or the units from S tier or SS. Same thing with Poison Mushroom here. Even with his buff, yes, he can provide, you know, tons of damage, you know, with that overall poison. However, for a lot of stages, it takes way too long to see the full benefit from it. Therefore, I'm going to place him here on A. Next up, we've got, that's going to be Squid Ink. Doesn't really provide a whole lot of value besides just pure raw AoE DPS. Again, not a bad option, but we've got other AoE damage dealers, in my opinion, that offer a little bit more value. Next up, we've got, and that's going to be Cream Puff. Again, she got a buff. She can absolutely be used. She provides healing. She's based off of crit percent. Again, very, very good option if you don't have what's better, and that's why she's coming in at A. Next up, we've got, that's going to be Snow Sugar. Snow Sugar's kind of a niche cookie as well. Decent for when it comes overall, you know, Summoner's Comp. Can be used periodically here and there for AoE damage, you know, for Snow King. But again, not going to be top tier for most players. Next up, we've got, that's going to be none other than T-Knight. T-Knight, again, is going to be a very decent option if you have nothing else. Yes, you can cheese some of those stages utilizing the Insignia Treasure alongside T-Knight as you would do in the arena. But outside of that, though, there's, again, a lot better options for the frontline unit. Next up, we've got, and that's going to be Cherry Blossom. AoE damage, attack, buff, very similar to Mango, slightly better than Mango in my opinion. But again, not a bad option if you are looking for an AoE damage that can also provide some utility. Last but not least, we've got, that's going to be Latte and then also Twizzly Gummy when it comes to A tier here for the overall PvE aspect. Now, just keep in mind here, as always, guys, these units, once again, are going to be cookies you can utilize if you have nothing else and or to fill team compositions if you don't have every single cookie to build from S tier or SS. Moving right along here to B tier, we've got, and that's going to be a handful of cookies as well. We've got a couple of shifts happening this time around, and that's going to be Maddie's dropping to B for PvE content. Definitely going to be very good for PvP and, you know, pretty much meta right now for PvP for a lot of, you know, triple tank comps. But outside of that, though, there's, again, a lot better options for frontline, you know, defense units, and even charge units are taking that role we're seeing in, you know, World Exploration or PvE. So Maddie's going to be bumping down that list for me. Next up, we've got, and that's going to be Moon Rabbit. Once again, another defense cookie, but in my opinion, there's a lot better options. We've got Pastry Cookie there coming in right afterwards as a DPS unit. Again, you know, yes, you could use a speed meta comp. Yes, you could build a pastry, but would you recommend it? Probably not at the current state of the game for PvE. We've got Milk Cookie here. Again, another defense cookie that's just kind of fallen off because there's just a lot better options that have come out. Wildberry Cookie, for instance, would overtake any of these tanks, in my opinion, in B tier. We've also got Mint Choco here coming in right after that. We've got Espresso. Yes, provides AoE damage. Yes, can be very good early game for you looking for that raw, you know, fast, you know, burst AoE damage. But outside of that, though, he really falls off, or mid to late game, really. Next up, we've got, that's going to be none other than Sparkling. We've got Kumiho here, although she does provide a defense break very similar to Dark Choco. The defense break is not as good, and not only that, she stays in that transformation stage until it's completely over with. Nevertheless, making her, in my opinion, a lot less valuable when it comes to the PvE side of things. Dark Choco is 100% a better investment for that defense break. Now, naturally, you could argue, could you Kumi scam your way through the World Exploration? Maybe, but it's not very common. You don't see it a lot. And not only that, I don't think that it would work for every single thing, especially not including boss stages. Next up, we've got, and that's going to complete our list. We're just going to go ahead and throw them out here. We've got Raspberry Cookie. We've got my beloved Red Velvet. Sad to see him down here on B tier. And then last but not least, we've also moved Sonic and Tails down this season. And now the reason why we moved Sonic and Tails down here, right? Nothing's changed. They didn't get worse. However, most players that do have Sonic and Tails means that they have been playing for well over a year or close to a year now. And with that being said, they've progressed way farther, in my opinion, than utilizing Sonic and Tails anymore, and all the new players diving into the game don't even have Sonic and Tails. So, yes, could you use them? Sure, but most people, especially when, like, with the Chaos Tower, where you can only use, like, 4 or 3 epic cookies, then people aren't even utilizing Sonic and Tails most of the time. They're throwing in a Ginger Brave because most players have the Kumi scam built for Arena and or Ginger Brave thrown in like the Hall of Ancient Heroes to get that level boost to 60 or 70 or whatever. So naturally, you're going to be utilizing that over Sonic and Tails anyway. Last but not least, here we've got, that's going to be C tier and D tier. Both of these tiers are going to be cookies, in my opinion, that you should not really use. I really wouldn't invest in them until they do receive some sort of buff, bringing them higher up on the tier list. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up our video for today on the updated PvE tier list for the month of June 2022. Again, keep in mind, guys, it's just the beginning of the month. As we get new cookies rolling out, I always do a follow-up tier list video, placing that new cookie and or making any adjustments that are according to the current meta. As always, though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on the channel for everything Cookie Run Kingdom related as I cover it all. Also, guys, don't forget, I've got a second YouTube channel. I will put that link down below in the description. You guys can head over there, subscribe to that channel. I will be doing other things and playing other games outside of Cookie Run Kingdom. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, I would love to have you over there. But nevertheless, as always, guys, I'll see you on the next one.